Raising your consciousness level can be a game changer for you. If you find that your life is filled with distraction, not making progress on your goals, and a lot of movement but no momentum, watch this video. We're giving you 5 ways on how to raise your consciousness level, starting with the first idea now. Number 1, seek tough love. We've all heard the expression, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. I challenge this concept. I don't want people who are nice. Nice people tell you what you want to hear. Kind people tell you what you need to hear. These kind people give you tough love. Here's one example. Years ago, I made an audiobook and I wanted to be very exciting, very enthusiastic because I didn't have my body, my facial expression in the book. It had to rely on my voice. I sent it out to people, got feedback from friends and family, and they said it was really good. Largely because I'm not very tech savvy. They're probably just impressed that I found a way to do it. I felt really great about it. But then I sent it over to my grandma because she was going to be kind. She was going to tell me what I needed to hear. She told me that at times I stumbled and I fidgeted and I could tell that I didn't know my material, that I was nervous, that I didn't have the enthusiasm that I needed. It was tough to hear, but I'm so glad she told me. I redid the audiobook and it sold way more copies because I got that tough love. Number 2, own your emotions. I got this idea from Wayne Dyer's book, Your Erroneous Zones. I'm sure there's times maybe at work, maybe you have a coworker and you say, they make me so mad. And maybe you're in traffic and you say, it makes me so infuriated, it makes me upset. This idea is about identifying those emotions, tying your identity to them. Say that I make myself upset when my coworker does this. I make myself upset when I'm in traffic. And as you do this, you'll pause and think, why on earth am I making myself feel bad when I don't have to? Why on earth am I making myself feel bad on things that I cannot control? You see, you can influence people, but you can't change them. You can maybe leave at a different time for traffic to avoid it, but there are certain ththings in your life that you cannot avoid. Why spend your life making yourself feel bad when you don't have to? Start realizing you're making yourself feel bad. You're making yourself feel upset, and it'll cause you to raise your awareness, think twice about why you're doing it, and you'll probably start feeling a lot better. Number 3, write it out. Just about every successful person I know has goals. They write out their daily plans, weekly goals, monthly goals, things like that. And I thought that it wasn't necessary. I'll do this all up in my head. It's a lot of work and it's not worth it. And I'm not talking about making goals today. I do think it's a good idea, but I'm talking about going back, writing out your past week. All I know is that there was one man I knew who inspired me. He had a wife, he had 2 kids, he had a full-time job, a business on the side. He was just doing everything, even volunteering. And I thought, there's no way I could be like that. And he explained to me, and I'm going to explain to you, that it's a matter of priorities. Raise the awareness of how you're spending your time. And I remember years ago writing out my weekly schedule. And I found taking those 10 minutes to write out my average week in hourly increments, I found that I was watching 55 hours of TV. It made me nauseous. The next time I went to sit down to watch Netflix, I thought twice about it. I realized, is this the best use of my time? Maybe I could be doing something better. Time is your most valuable asset. As you bring it to your consciousness, you'll start to think twice about how you're spending it. Number 4, magnify your decisions. The main issue with adopting good habits and getting rid of bad habits is that you don't get immediate results. But if you magnify that choice made every single day, you'll start to realize, wow, I need to think twice about what I'm doing. Here's one example with ice cream. I love this Enlightenment protein-infused ice cream. Just about everyone I know, I've told them about it. It's sensational. The only issue, it's $5 a tub, and I found myself eating 2 tubs a day. I have some money in the bank, I wasn't thinking much about it. It was just $10 a day, no problem. Then I magnified this purchase. You see, it was $10 a day. It was also $300 a month, $3,600 a year for ice cream. When I magnified that decision, I realized I need to get rid of this habit. There's better use of my money to spend elsewhere. Same with good habits. Maybe you want to write a book, and the idea of writing a book is just so daunting you keep pushing it off. But imagine if you just got in the habit of writing for 30 minutes a day. It seems like nothing, but over a month's time, that's 15 hours. Over 6 months' time, that's 90 hours. That's plenty of time to write a pretty good novel. Again, it's tough not getting immediate results for what you do, but realize a good choice made time and time again will lead to a fruitful life, and a bad choice made time and time again will lead to a destructive one. Number 5, look inward. When you get feedback you don't like, you may get defensive, you may even lash out at that person. but I think it's a good idea to get in the habit of looking inward. Here's one example. Last year, I was at my friend's house and his wife kind of commented to us that we're dreamers, that we never do anything. And I was about to get defensive and say, I've made a YouTube channel, I've written books, I do plenty. But I looked inward and I realized I was getting negative, I was getting all stirred up because I was afraid that it was true. You see, I was doing something, but I knew I could do more. Think about your name. Let's say your name is John. I call you Steve. There's no negative response because you know your name is John. You see, in my example, I was afraid that what she said was true. And when this happens, look inward, don't get defensive, don't lash out, just make the necessary changes so that you're in alignment with how you see yourself. And the last way on how to raise your consciousness, keep an open mind. I think about the book Blink, this one study in there. I've made a book review on that video. If you want to check it out, I'll leave a card right there. But in the study, there was blind date participants. They filled out a questionnaire of their ideal mate, their facial features, their personality, things like that. Then they went on the date, and the people who they connected with were nothing like the people who they had envisioned in their mind. The only issue was months later, they filled out that questionnaire, and they went back to the people they thought they liked, the people they had envisioned in their head. You see, they had an idea of what they wanted, but what they actually wanted was completely different. You may have a construct of yourself, of your strengths, your weaknesses, things you like, things you don't like, things that make you comfortable, uncomfortable. And I'm here to tell you that it could be false. Keep an open mind, be willing to explore, be willing to do something different, and be willing to see yourself in a better light. If you want to keep an open mind, consider subscribing to our channel today, Your Inspired Life, where we give you inspiration, motivation, and the necessary information so that you can live your inspired life. This is your friend Michael from Your Inspired Life. Make sure you inspire before you expire. Hope you enjoyed this video. Cannot wait to see you in the next one.